Today. I'm Chetan from Infogain. I lead sales for data and AI studio within Infogain. So this is a long time coming. We've been partnering with Databricks on multiple different initiatives. But I think this is something which is very unique within the market, and I thought this is something which is worthwhile sharing to the broader community and how we can partner together to some of those workloads in the industry. So before I begin, we just want to set up the context of who we are as an organization. Anshuman. So this is a broad agenda we want to cover, just probably one slide behind. So this is something which we have for today, right? So we'll probably give a key introduction of some of the team members, what we want to achieve today. The industry, why is it so critical right now to, what is the time right now to move away from SAS Databricks? What are the industry trends? What's happening in the market? And why did we, with working with our enterprise customers, chose to decide on Databricks, and what are the advantages of it in the market? And a case study which we've done it for a Fortune 50, a lot more details with respect to how we embarked on it, the challenges we saw, the innovation innovation and accelerators we built to solution for it, and how this can be leverage across the industry, right? And some next steps and so on. So we've had the chat open where our teams will record all of these questions, and we try to address it either during the call or at the end of this presentation. So before I hand over to or introduce the rest of the panelists today, I would love to give a quick overview of Infogain. Next slide, Anshuman. So Infogain has been around for a long time, right? So we've been serving the enterprise over 20 years. We are a global company. We have a mid-size SI backed by Apex partners. Today, we are a global service industry with over 6,000 employees globally. We go to market in broadly four service lines, platform and product engineering. We've been serving CTOs, VPs for over 20 years. Data and AI, which is the studio which is presenting today, right, happens to be the second largest business unit for us. A couple of other areas we focus on is in MarTech and e-commerce and experience design, serving typically the CMOs. A couple of things I want to highlight here. While we are mid-size, we have embraced AI and GenAI into our service line. So today we are taking a very AI, GenAI-led, service delivery across our service lines today, and we are possibly one of the earliest SI in that, in the approach to the market. So with that being said, I would like to hand over to, we can start with a quick round of introduction. Sri.
Hey everyone, I'm Sriraj Srinivasan. I head data and AI. Look forward to this webinar.
Hey, this is Nikhil Gupta. I work as a partner solutions architect at Databricks, and you're looking forward to this webinar.
Hey, hi, this is Pankaj Bajaj. I'm senior principal architect and data practitioner in Infogain.
Palak is part of Pankaj's team who will be presenting the demo today. So set up the context of the need and why modernize, right? We'll begin with Sriraj. Over to you, Sri.
Yeah, if you move to the next slide, Anshuman, right? So one of the key things, every customer that we're going in, right, we're selling to both business and tech buyers. That's been the case for the last 2 years. And what we're seeing is it's the business case that actually sells. And if you look at the 5 value levels that you're seeing here, those are the ones that actually are driving a lot of our business and push towards speed, scalability, and savings, right? The first one is operational continuity. As most of you are aware, most companies today have a lot of legacy systems, and AI is already there, and they want to actually modernize. And so to build a moat, you need to have a great data intelligence platform. And that's where this journey or these questions have started. Like, how can we continue with our business while also actually building out these types of platforms? And the scalability of these platforms, right? It's just not solving 1-2 use cases, but how can we just put it across the board and solve all the use cases across all functions in the enterprise? And the innovation with the AI. So even in our case, whatever we've done, we've been asked by customers to bring GenAI to unlock efficiency and savings. And working with platforms like Databricks, what we've done is, because of the embeddings that they have, it's very easy for us to run one platform, everything. Then the speed to value, automatically you bring in AI, the time to market decreases. We've seen about 50% efficiency gains in most of the transformation programs that we're running. And finally, all this leads to the biggest value case, which is cost savings, right? So you want to transfer a lot of different legacy platforms into the new. you see tremendous amount of cost savings, like at least 30 to 40%. Next slide, Anshuman. So what we did was, okay, so we've got the value case out. Now, what are the different problems that by industry vertical that we are seeing, right? And these are coming from ground level intel. So we are talking to customers across the board, and we started with logistics. That's been the biggest, and we're going to show the use case as well. So in the logistics industry, the two things that is dramatically shifting with all that is happening across the world is having real-time visibility and actionability, right? So which means they have to track everything real time. So today's frustrations lie in like batch systems that are not refreshing fast enough. And then also with the volumes, like you take some of these logistics providers, they're talking about billions of transactions in a day. So you need to have pipelines that basically are able to push the data fast without having getting overwhelmed by the latency issues. That's why we started. And then we're looking at travel hospitality, which has very similar type of problems really, because the response times to customers has to be faster. Your experience as a customer, you go to Expedia or something and try to book, and if it's slow, you're just going to move to the next booking site, right? So what's running in the backend are platforms like Databricks, and also the machine learning aspect of it, recommending you what is the price and where to go and how to do it, etc. And the other industries like BFSI, healthcare are driven by compliance. There's a big compliance shift where if you want to move to modern platforms, which is required for AI, they need to be very compliant. And so it's a very different type of industry where it's more focused on compliance and B2B customers before we get to the B2C, right? So it's very intriguing that compliance in both cases drives a lot. And therefore, having a compliant platform, which is one size fits all, is actually critical. And finally, manufacturing, right? So that where the workloads are tied to a lot of legacy sites, like you have sites that are not even connected with each other, don't even have connectivity to the internet, and how do you run all this stuff? So between edge and cloud computing, etc. So if you see there is a theme that exists here, you have compliance, then you have real time, and then you have latency streaming, and all this has to be done at an optimal cost. So I would say that's where we are seeing a lot of value in bringing like an end-to-end platform like Databricks, which lowers costs, faster insights, and helps you have unified governance. Do you want to move to the next slide, Anshuman? So this is like a very busy slide, but I would say this just gives us a view of what really value we are unlocking, right? Over 18 to 24 months, we have real data points and we're not making this up. So we are seeing the first thing is the TCO, which the CIOs and the CTOs love, right? Oh, we're dropping 40 to 70%. Then we are able to we are able to lower latency for a lot of problems, which is critical. And we're bringing it down further and further. I mean, today the ask is like from seconds, it's moved to milliseconds for some of the industry, like travel and all that, they're looking at it in milliseconds. Then we are able to actually look at even the compliance aspects of it, how we can look at it, make it compliant, say, like SOC policies. If you look at on the left side, audits, it's able to actually, because of the unified governance, we are able to address all of it. And finally, the SLAs, right, reducing the incidents. So you can build all this, but if you're having breakdowns so frequently, then it's going to be a problem. So all of this we are seeing as getting into one platform is helping us out quite a bit. Want to move to the next slide? So we did our own assessment of this, right? And this is just our point of view. From what we looked at it from our lens and based on what we built and productionized at scale. Today we have productionized about like 30, 40,000 workloads in the use case that we're going to talk. We are seeing this, that Databricks is able to hit all these 5 levers. Like consistently, we are able to see that it's able to, the levers that I talked about, it's like 5-star rating, right? And then we've tested other platforms. So the customers that we talk to are not just buying with the idea, okay, yeah, you've got this great platform, you're a great partner with Databricks, let's go buy it. We've run performance testing with other platforms, and we've seen this type of, and we've just given it very qualitative ratings, right? And we've got a background scoring system as well, which we validated with customers, but this is what it is. And we can get into the details with any of you later. You want to move to the next slide, Anshuman? Yeah, so I'm just going to hand it off to Nikhil now to talk about Databricks Advantage, right? Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Shri. I think that's a great introduction. So I think it's no hidden secret right now that every company today aims to be a data and AI organization, right? And as of today, it's not just about data. I think AI has even more focus, and organization believe that is essential to success. So next slide. So as we were talking about, right, Ashri was talking about, we are seeing similar priorities when we talk to our customers across the verticals and landscape, right? So the primary is cost reductions. CFOs are seeking lower TCOs to fund new initiatives, right? Top of the mind is definitely data quality and security. So data should both be secure and accessible across the organization. And finally, I think the most common theme that is coming out is AI-driven transformations. A company wants to leverage AI and drive innovation, both internally and to improve customer experience. However, what is happening is organizations have these legacy platforms which they have bought decades ago, and these legacy platforms are sort of expensive anchors for every enterprise. Not only because they are expensive, but companies are not able to do a lot of these modern AI and GenAI use cases to them. So I think so. We believe that now it's time to move on. So some of the so what enterprises use need from modern data platform, and some of the value drivers of Databricks brings in, right? So first definitely is lower cost, right? So lower cost, if you look at the overall platform, it should make financial sense, and also it should fit in your budget, and you should be able to do a lot of the use cases you're planning to do. The second thing is open, no lock-in, right? So Databricks brings, we are a very proponent of open source technologies. So we bring in, projects like Delta Lake, MLflow, Spark. So idea here is we want, the modern data platform should be open. So there is no other migration down the line. Another value proposition for Databricks is governance, and I'll talk to you in a bit about it. But we want to, govern not only your data, but all the other assets around it as well, be it dashboards, models, etc. And finally, we bring, sort of risk assurance to these migrations, right? We have over time, we have done hundreds of these migrations. We have built best practices, which we have shared with our partners and allowed them to build their platforms on these best practices and proven success methodologies. Next slide. So let's talk about, some of the key components of the Databricks platform, right? So the first thing is, you own your data. So idea is simple. You store all your data in open formats, in a lake of your choice, based on the cloud, and to eliminate the data silos across organization, right? And we support two of the most common open data formats out there, Delta Lake and Iceberg, and Parquet as well. And critically, with Databricks, you can read and write both these formats. So idea here is we help you build your lakehouse with full interoperability. Next slide. And now moving on to governance, right? So governance is essential. I think this is the top priority for all enterprise customers. So Unity Catalog is our governance solution, right? And it helps provide you governance not only for your tables, but all the other assets as well, be it AI models, files, notebooks, or dashboards, right? And more importantly, beyond governance, we go things like monitoring, lineage, auditing. So all features that you require from a modern governance standpoint of view are available with Unity Catalog. So with Unity Catalog, you achieve end-to-end visibility right from ingestion to consumption. And finally, next slide. And finally, I think it's important with the foundation of Lakehouse, we have added a lot of AI capabilities on our platform, right? And that has helped to unlock the data intelligence. So your AI built on your data. So this means that AI has knowledge of your data, and it basically enhances everything you do on the platform, be it analytics or AI. Next slide. And this is a very simplistic view of our what's beyond, right? So idea is with Databricks Data Intelligence Platform, you are able to ingest all data sources, be it batch data from legacy databases, real-time data from IoT sensors, etc., structured, unstructured data. So we are able to ingest any source of data from different sources. Within Databricks, you are able to do all your use cases, be it GenAI, ETL, data engineering, dashboarding, so all use cases. We have features, we have full-blown features to help you do all the use cases. And finally, right from the and it basically allows you for an organization to have one platform rather than stitching together multiple platforms for your different use cases. Yeah.
Yeah. So over to Pankaj. Pankaj,
I
you're
think
on
we have
mute.
some questions, right? We'll just take it
Yeah.
at the end.
Can we go? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it at the end, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So let's talk about the case study, which showcases the transformation journey of Fortune 50 global logistic leader operating across 220 locations and across 17 business units worldwide. Over the years, their analytics ecosystems has expanded to 1.7 million SaaS workloads, running mission critical operations and insight. But this legacy SaaS environment has become complex, siloed, expensive to maintain, limiting agility and scalability. So organization face several key challenges in terms of rising SaaS infrastructure and licensing cost, rigid, non-scalable analytics setup, fragmented governance, as well as the real-time analytics and even AI-driven insight system. So our modernization strategy addresses this head on, right? We begin with comprehensive assessment of over 1 million plus SaaS workloads, mapping dependency and identifying critical processes. We then design a Databricks Lakehouse architecture using Delta Lake and Unity Catalog, bringing governance, stability, scalability, and performance together. So leveraging GenAI driven automation, we achieve almost 95% code translation accuracy and over 50% of manual effort reduction through automated validation, UAT, and dependency mapping. Ultimately, the enterprise successfully migrated, 1+ million SaaS workload to PySpark on Databricks, achieving 50% of faster delivery and annual cost saving of over 15 million%. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. So this is our 5-step GenAI enable migration framework, which accelerates modernization while ensuring accuracy, governance, and lower total cost of ownership. We begin with assesses and plan, perform a full inventory of SaaS asset, mapping dependency and developing and prioritizing a roadmap based upon the business impact. Next is the prepare and enable, provisioning the Databricks Lakehouse with Delta Lake and Unity Catalog for unified governance and enabling cross-functional teams through training and onboarding. Here in this organization, which we are talking about, is almost 10,000 plus business user, which we enable and enable them to onboard on the Databricks. In migrate and modernize, GenAI automation translate SaaS programs into PySpark or SQL pipelines, optimize ETL, ELT workloads, and ensure scalability and performance in Databricks. During the validation and test, we use automated utilities to verify schema, data, and logic parity between SAS and Databricks output. Parallel runs confirms the consistency and business continuity. Finally, innovate and scale enables AI and ML capability for forecasting, anomaly detection, self-service analytic, and creating a future-ready enterprise modern system which sufficient for advanced analytics and self-service reporting system. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is our solution architect The process begins with the discovery phase. If you read from left to right, where identifying all the SAS asset dependence across system like Oracle, DB2, Teradata, and PC files. These feed into Infogain SAS migration framework, which automates code rationalization, translation, validation through GenAI accelerator. This reduces manual effort almost 70% while maintaining the code integrity. The converted workload are deployed into the Databricks Lakehouse, where Delta Lake ensures data reliability, Unity catalog enforce and governance and lineage. Finally, the platform supports the low-code seamless integration with BI tool like Power BI and AI BI dashboard, driving faster innovation, scalability, and significant cost saving. And we go to next slide, please. So here you see we classify the migration into 4 different stages: pre-migration, migration, validation, code, and UAT and product deployment. So we not only targeted about the code migration as a GenAI accelerator, but we come up with 20 plus different utilities which actually serves you entire life cycle of modernization journey, be it is pre-migration. So I'll give you an example of pre-migration where 1.7 million inventory. We scan those inventory. We identify what are the duplicates, redundant files, the files not run over a period of time. Then we classify them into simple, medium, complex. We have some business rule which classify into simple. For an example, if the SAS code is more than 500 lines of code with some micros definition and some HTML definition, we called it as a medium code. Obviously there is a different business logic for, and there's not only SAS code, it is SAS code, EGP code, micros, DI studio jobs. So whole lot different types of code. We take it, do a discovery and inventory analysis. Then we clean that SAS code, make that SAS code pre-ready for migration. SAS code has a lot of HTML codes, a lot of print proc statement, which is not directly convertible in Databricks, right? So we takes care of in pre-scrubbing work. So we have all automation utility, which actually takes care of this automatically. Then we come up with the agentic framework, which actually translate this particular SAS code into a PySpark code. And after translation, also we have a utility called Autofix utility, which checks the runtime logic of SAS code and PySpark code, and then gives you the output whether the logic is correctly implemented or not. It also takes care of the PySpark code standardization, as well as it will also takes care of if there is any remediation issue, it will auto correct it. Then 60-70% of the migration life cycle go how you validate your data automatically. So we come up with the validation and code fix utility, which converts the SAS dataset 7 SAS 7 be that file into a PySpark. Then it will compare PySpark to PySpark on the row count, on the schema match, a data match validation, and gives you automated report which you can go and send to business user for a validation purpose. And at the end, it also we come up with GenAI enable UI framework for conducting a UAT and as well as automated production deployment. By implementing all these 20 plus utilities, we achieve almost 50% of the productivity. Again, Nikhil, you want to add some point here?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the key point, like I've been working with migrations for quite some time, right? I think the key point to note is like migrations is much more beyond code conversion, right? And what I really like about this is like we have automation built in for all the 4 phases, right? Right from pre-migration, validation, deployment, right? And validation, as Pankaj pointed out, is a major component of any migration you're doing, right? And if we have automation for 60-70% automation across the board, I think that really helps in fast tracking these migrations and ensuring success.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So these are the few facts and results we achieved in the so One is faster delivery, 50% of faster delivery, accurate conversion rate of 95%, and as well as annual savings of 20 million per year, which is includes the licensing cost as well as infra cost saving. So what we'll do is we'll directly go to a demo now. We come up with 20 utilities. Well, we'll showcase you very quick today live demo on picking up the SAS code and how we can convert that SAS code into a PySpark code. Over to you, Palak.
Thank you, Pankaj. So I'll start sharing my screen. Yeah, if my screen is visible to you guys.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll talk little about technical. So Pankaj has already explained the architecture, so I won't go into architecture. I'll explain little about the technical details. What are the tools and techniques we have used? So I'll start with the authorization and authentication. So for that, we have Microsoft Entra ID, which was formerly known as Azure Active Directory. So for that, we have used for authentication and authorization. After that, we have built our UI in React.js, and we have deployed it in Azure App Services. After that, we have built our backend in backend with the help of Fast API, and it is in the Databricks environment. So for Databricks environment, we have implemented service principle. So if different users are running this utility at the same time, we need not to give specific permission to every user. If he is authorized with the help of Entra ID, he can run this utility or the UI. So I'll quickly start with the demo first. In between, I can explain more technical details maybe. So this is the UI, which it would look like this. So I'll start with the source code to PySpark migration. I'll start a new. So these are the jobs which I have ran earlier. So you can also click on view here and you can see your previous job. So your data won't be lost. I'll click on new job here. From here, you can upload your any SAS file which you want to convert. So I'll click on this SAS file. I'll click on open. So with the help of this, you can see our SAS file is loaded in the UI itself. And when you click on next, it will start executing that file. So these statuses which you are getting, we are getting with the help of Fast API, and we have used polling method here, short polling method. So with the help of that, we are getting all these status from our backend, which is in the Databricks itself. So once it is running, I'll show you the next step, how it will look. So after completing, it will show us the metadata here. It will give me the file name, so total lines, code complexity, how many chunks it has, file reference, and more details like macro and everything. And if I'll click on next here, so here I'm getting my converted code. So this is my converted code. When I'll click on next, so here I'm getting my converted code, and also the option to reject or accept here. So if you find that your code is not properly converted, you can reject here itself. Or if you find that your code is quite well, if it looks good to you, you can accept your code from here. So after accepting your code, you'll get the file path and file name, total lines it has, lines removed, code complexity, and the time it took. It took 5.85 seconds. So it is also showing the time. So from here, you can also download your file. So if you see, I got the file, which is in the Python format. So if you want to see the file, I can also click here, but I have already kept it open for you guys. So yes, we can see from here. So you can see it has divided the file in the chunks. So it is giving me the chunk number, end of chunk, begin of chunk. So this is the file which we have currently converted. And if I'll talk about more technical details, so my front end is hosted in Azure Static Web App, and backend is in Azure App Services. And I have used CI/CD pipeline. So whenever I am making any changes in my code or anything, any changes I'm making in the code, so it will be automatically deployed with the help of CI/CD pipeline. And when it comes to security, we have used zero trust policy. And yeah, so these are the details which I wanted to share. So over to you, Pankaj. Thank you.
Yeah. So this utilities we just demo today, the platform modernization utility, which will convert the SAS code. So it runs in the two methods. One is if you go with UI, it runs take a file at a time and then converts that file into a PySpark file. Around 5 to 7 minutes it takes for average file size of 500 lines code or so. If the files is larger SAS file. So we transfiled almost file size, line size of 12,000, 13,000 lines of code. It took around 70 minutes for us for conversion process because it's a huge chunk of file. We also, converted this code or utility run from the command line prompt where we run a batch files. So for an example, if we kept all the SAS file within the uh, one folder, it automatically read all those files one by one and then converts and give you output in a batch process mode. So if you want to run it batch process mode, we can run it from command line. If you want to go one by one, then obviously you will run from the UI. So this is one utility there. And then there are various utilities as you see left hand side. The utilities right inventory analysis, acceptance criteria, auto fixing utility, and self-healing utility, which also ensures your code is standardized and the SAS and PySpark compare to each other and provides you output. One important last point I wanted to make is the SAS workload is not only a SAS files. It also gives you EGP files, DI Studio jobs, and as well as the micros. So this utility dynamically identifies if you are referring the EGP file. So EGP file is nothing but a combination of a task-wise SAS codes. So this utility automatically take the EGP file, compress or decompress that EGP file into a SAS workload, find the interdependency of those workload, arrange in the subsequent fashion stepwise, and then take for a conversion purpose. So this is, and we almost converted till now 5,000 to 6,000 SAS code. And this particular, we almost productionize 4 to 5,000 code by converting using this particular utility. So this is information in generic about the utility, how it works. Back to you, Nikhil.
No, thank you. Thank you for this. So, Palak, you can stop sharing. So maybe Sri, we can address some of the questions which have come in.
Yeah, we can just take those. Yeah. I think one of the questions that I'm seeing here is that when you evaluated and selected Databricks, was Microsoft Fabric also considered? What were the reasons for choosing Databricks over Fabric? So Pankaj, you want you
Yeah.
so
So yeah, so customer were looking for 3 4 aspects, right? One aspect is they wanted to a cloud agnostic architecture. right? The second aspect is they are looking for unified platform where they can run their workloads, reporting, and as well as AML workload within the same stuff. And they don't have very focus on Power BI, but they have a different reporting tools like Tableau, AIBS Studio, Power BI, MicroStrategy, and all. So they were looking for a platform which unified platform, and as a modernization strategy they betted on the Databricks as their core platform. So they evaluated data fabric or Microsoft Fabric as well, but by due consideration and all these factors they decided to go on Databricks.
Do we have any other questions from the chat?
See your question.
Yes, Chetan, there is one which from Marty, which is about what is the definition of SAS baseline on scorecard slide?
So SAS baseline
No,
talks
that's
about.
I think it's on the scoring slide, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
that.
correct. It's for you, Sriraj. Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead, Pankaj. If you have a point of view, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. SAS baseline refers into two, three aspects of it, right? One is SAS code accuracy, uh, data it produces, and then the performance of the SAS. So performance of the SAS code is one of the baseline aspects of it. And yes, we do baseline the SAS code before migration as a part of our inventory analysis and discovery mechanism. And we prioritize the workload, we categorize the workload in complexity. And what we observed is 70-80% of SAS code which we convert to PySpark code runs absolutely fine on Databricks. Databricks being very facilitated for running the large workloads. In some cases, we observed some performance challenges where we are running 5,000-6,000 workloads, but the proper tuning and standardization of the code, we found that we are matching, or in fact, one example I have where the SAS code or SAS processes running almost for 17-18 hours, and Databricks with the proper tuning, it runs within a 35 minutes or so. So yeah. You want to add something, Sriraj, there?
No, I'm fine with it. That's the baseline we did for scoring, right? I
Yeah.
think Marty's question, we took real data and we baselined it. So it was just not made up, right? So that's the key point here. So we ran these tests on real data. So there's another question. Is this data modernization platform meant only for people who use SAS, or can it be used by those working with other ETL tools, right? Talent, Informatica. I think it's more to the utilities, I would imagine, or yeah. But I think we should. Yeah, go ahead, Pankaj.
Yeah, so right now we are supporting all the uh, code-based tools like SAS, Teradata, SQL, BTEC scripts, and all. But eventually we are planning to do it. For instance, this organization very much migrated even their ab initio workloads to PySpark. Or there is a requirement coming to migrate Informatica or Alteryx workflows to Databricks. And definitely, eventually, down the line in future, we will also incorporate this UI-based ETL tools uh, conversion. So Informatica, we did a very quick POC where we extracted Informatica in XML, and that XML we converted to PySpark code, and we got a good results there. So yes, this is very much a framework, agnostic framework, but we need to test it on the UI ready tools like Informatica.
Yeah, and also one thing I want to add is this particular utilities we showed is going into the Databricks Brick Builder program, right? So you should be able to access it from your notebooks very soon. It's under review. So we're going to actually, it's going to be there for everyone to access. So you can test it by yourself if needed, right? So I just wanted to throw it out there. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a nice
So
question.
I think there's another question. Yeah, it's from Katrina. So how do you convert SAS procedures which have years of IP behind them, such as for forecasting, and uses optimization logic to reconcile forecasts, right? So I think we did a big MVP on this, Pankaj, so you should talk through it actually. It's a good question.
Yeah, I think two, three patterns we observed, right? There are four types of SAS code. One is obviously the SAS proc or procedure statements, right? The other patterns we see that there is a lot of web apps inbuilt within the SAS code itself, and then there is a micro logic and all, right? So what happened is typically, I'll just give one example, right? We use a proc mean statement, which is normally a lot of times used in the SAS itself. So what we do is the proc mean statement, we need to convert into a basic SQL statement of PySpark. So there is a standard logic that, okay, whenever there is a proc mean statement and the variation of proc mean statement, you need to go and convert that into a standard Spark SQL. So what we have done is we created a repository of all such issues like proc mean statement is there, how to handle a print proc statement and all that. We created one repository of 100, 200 standard statement which are not directly convertible to the PySpark. And by GenAI based accelerator, we see that if this kind of statement comes, we upfrontly replace that statement within the SAS script itself. So that's a pre-scrubbing work where whatever the non-convertible statements or IP of SAS or analytics functions, we upfront go and replace in the SAS, and then that scrub file we take it for a conversion purpose. So that's what we say we achieved 90 to 95% of translation accuracy. Obviously, there will be always 5 to 10% of code which we need to do a manual remediation purpose. But as when we are doing more and more file translations, we almost done 4 to 5,000 files. These patterns we are capturing enough, and then we are incorporating that in our code base itself. So in future, if the similar codes has happened, we already taken care of in our repo stuff. But that challenge will still be there where we have very IP based SAS functions. But we have a rule based engine which converts these custom analytics SAS functions into a Databricks function. Not directly, but indirect way.
Okay, we have another question from Marty.
Yeah.
Can we upload Parquet, right? SAS Parquet datasets directly into Databricks without?
Yeah. So Parquet, I'm not very sure. What we have done is SAS 7B that files, which is a SAS datasets normally. So we converted, so there is a utility available, or we written one of our 20 utilities that converted a SAS 7B that file, which is a SAS dataset, into a Delta or Parquet format. And then that Parquet format we process within the Databricks. That is a one thing. The other thing is now using there is a PySpark or Python library available which directly connects the SAS data set through Databricks. So answering that question, yes, we can connect. There is always a firewall issues and all because SAS being on premises and Databricks being, but if we do it right approach, I think we can directly connect this SAS data set to the Databricks and we can work locally. So in one of our example, we are connecting SAS data set directly and we are using that as a locally within the Databricks environment.
All right. All right. Thanks. I think at the top of the hour, Anshuman, last slide. So thank you all for joining the webinar today. If you are considering SAS to Databricks migrations, or there is something which you want to take to business, right? So as Infogain, we would like to offer a free assessment of your workloads, and we can run a 2 to 3 weeks of discovery to understand the complexity involved and how we can enable that, and also migrate with confidence. So in a nutshell, right, so with our experience of having done this multiple customers, right, and different coding styles, right, some of the complex enterprises, they come with 16, 17, 18 different business units, and they have a different way of programming, different styles, different way of coding. The accelerators we've built, which are constantly being evolved and really battle tested, right? In a way, we have the confidence that we can actually help you migrate faster and a lot more cost effective than any other partner. So we have some few details here. Happy to engage in a conversation and looking forward to partnering with you all. Thank you everybody for joining this session today. Thanks.